All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. Sin, you wipe that smile off your face. You can't be that excited. It's ECL Elite Division action. Sin and I back here with you for our second matchup of the day, as it is Färjestad taking on our number one seed and again reigning champions in hREDS. I know they won't get tired of us saying that. I mean, why would they? They fought like hell to earn that title, and we will say it for as long as we can. And sitting based off of this season, as we get a look at the standings, there is a chance we could say that well into our spring division or a spring season. Although you get a look here off of outright games played, Sawo now up to 26 games, just 4 games left this season for
Wow.
Sawo, but they have absolutely been, you could argue, the story of this season. People expected them to maybe be a top 5 team. I don't know if anybody expected them to be showing up around the number 1 spot at any point in the season, let alone this late.
Yeah, and again, they're only the 3 points above hREDS, who do have the 4 games in hand. So I don't think they're going to be long for that number 1 spot. However, it's looking like they might have nearly locked in the number 2 seed, maybe number 3 at worst, which is incredibly impressive from that Sawo team.
Based off of the points percentage, hRED's at a 182, and then Sawo at a 165, for Lunda at a 1.6, and then it down to a 1.42 for Havu. So I think you're right. I think Sawo have locked in a top 3 spot. It's just a matter between hRED, Sawo, and Frölunda where that seeding will end up being. And then for Färjestad, they are comfortably in a playoff spot. I think right now, the 8 teams that you see in the playoffs, the seeding changes off of points percentage, but the 8 teams that are there, the top 7 are pretty close to safety, all things considered, off of points percentage. It's not an insurmountable gap for the likes of Roots or ZSC, but Granite right now is that team that's in the biggest bit of danger. They're only 1 point ahead of Roots with the same amount of games played, just 2 points clear of ZSC.
Yeah, Granite's had kind of an interesting season where they got off, to a hot start. They slipped a bit, then they fought back, and they're, kind of settling in at that sort of in that bubble position here. But I know, they want to make the playoffs. That's definitely been on their mind.
How about that as well at the bottom now? Conquer 4 games ahead of Djurgården with just a 3-point safety net. Still a long way to go this season in determining how everything will play out and where these teams will be putting their focus towards once we are done with this regular season. Again, a long way to go. But with that, let's get you a look here at the matchup, the task at hand. Again, Färjestad taking on hREDS. And Sin, we look at these numbers, and while Färjestad have done much better than a lot of people gave them credit for heading into this season, hREDS are still just a completely different animal.
Yeah, hREDS are just an absolute wagon. They have, to the point where they're nearly doubling the goals for to Färjestad, and they still have less goals against as well. 95% penalty kill is ridiculous. That it's almost like they've only allowed like 1, maybe 2 power play goals against. Good gosh, and again, and their power play is almost at 30% as well. This is why they're the top team. You're getting a look at it firsthand with those kind of numbers.
Then you want to know the impressive thing, too, with that penalty kill. They have the second most penalty minutes in the league with 92.
That's
compared to 95 over but 92 penalty minutes in 22 games. 1, maybe 2 goals against on the PK so far. Talk about playing with fire, but they have the talent to get out of that tough situation. We'll get you a look at the lineups here for Färjestad. Of course, it is the lineup that we have come to expect this season. Affe, Captain Mullen, and Fopa Toflin on the right. Sebi Larson and Mr. Nipsley on defense. McSavid between the pipes. We finally get to see him in action, Sin. And for hREDS, it is Villapoika and Benito, alongside Nicky Dangles, Domi and King of Apes, Phase between the pipes. And we will get to our first head-to-head matchup. It is the battle of the captains, Mullen against Benito. And getting a look at these numbers here, Sin, very intrigued as to how this one is going to play out. Particularly, that face-off percentage could be kind of the equalizer here.
Yeah, it definitely could. Benito has been maybe, kind of weirdly, I wouldn't say it's extremely, struggling, but it's, kind of below his expectation, though he's still putting up the ridiculous amount of points. And that's a huge differential. Is that point differential between these two teams. But then again, you saw the goal differential as well. That's kind of to be expected. But yeah, we're gonna have to kind of see, how that face-off battle, kind of shapes up. But it's the next battle that really is making me interested.
Absolutely. It is the winger matchup that we have here. Again, Afe and Fopa Toflin against Villapoika and Nikki Dangles. I mean, we have praised this hREDS lineup all season long. Afe, though, Sin continuing to do what he does, although maybe not quite hitting that same point pace that we'd expect.
Yeah, and maybe not really the goals pace as well. He's only 10th in the league in goal scoring, and we're used to seeing him, maybe a bit higher than that. And it's just some of those kind of lineup changes. People got to play different ways. You get different results, etc., so forth. But Färjestad, still looking to be that playoff team. Obviously, this is a tough matchup here, and if you're Afe, you got to be thinking, how can I get around that, that stiff hREDS defense? We know how Afe likes to play. He likes to get, down low for one-timers, and he likes to streak out on those rush plays, those Omaha plays. Will that be there against hREDS, who are one of the best defensive teams who improved that in the finals last season, where they swept Frölunda?
Upside there, Villapoika, 35 goals, leading
Yeah.
the elite division this season. Incredible stuff, to say the least, and just what an addition he has been to this team now for nearly the past 2 seasons. The defensive battle against Sebi Larson and Mr. Nipsley against Domi and King of Apes. All 4 of these guys can certainly put up points, but obviously with the more dominant hREDS offense, it's a little bit in favor of the hREDS duo.
Yeah, just a little bit. And King of Apes especially has been kind of getting close to that point per game mark where he started quite a bit lower than he may have been accustomed to earlier on in this season. But hREDS just continuing to roll here, and the points will come if they kept playing the way that they were playing, and they definitely have. They're both blocking some shots. Actually, all the defensemen, almost identical shot block totals. Good job there, boys. And yeah, again, this is actually, a very close matchup, but I think, again, when it comes down to is, will Domi and King of Apes be able to keep that eye on Afe, which, again, it's always easier said than done, but with the way hREDS has been able to shut things down, I mean, that's kind of the key in this matchup, I think.
The goaltenders next, and this is a prime-time battle, to say the least. 2 of the best this division has to offer in terms of goaltenders. Great numbers for both, great records for both. It's going to be really that kind of a movable, unstoppable force, a movable object situation between these two. You can't really bank if you're the offense for either side on either of these two really making a mistake.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's really going to come down. It could come down to a bounce from here and there. How long can you sustain your pressure and just try to keep firing shots on and simply beat a goaltender? Because it's going to be a pretty rare occasion when you find one of these goaltenders, out of position or stuff like that. I mean, McSavid does kind of play a little bit different than a lot of the goaltenders, but that often works to his benefit. I mean, taking kind of shooters off guard as well. So I'm excited to see how these two guys stack up next to each other.
So again, we are just a few moments away from the start of the action here. The first game of 2 between Färjestad and hREDS, as we talked about, since so much on the line here still for these teams. As again, hREDS, they do have the advantage, but still wanting to fend off that pressure, as we talked about yesterday, because again, on Wednesday we get to cover hREDS, and of course you can catch Sin and I here every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1945 CET, 1:45 p.m. Eastern, for those of you on the North American side. We saw hREDS in action yesterday, and we talked about it. There has only been 1 season in the past 4 that Frölunda haven't finished as the number 1 seed. 1. As insane as that is, and it was Jypi Vaskala, who currently find themselves in the Pro Division. As insane as that is, you never know what's going to happen in the Elite Division, that's for sure. hREDS want that claim to fame. I mean, at the very least, obviously they will take, hey, we beat them for the championship last season, but obviously, too, making that statement of through 30 games, we were the best team in this division. We are the defending champions. We are the team to beat. It's not Frölunda anymore. It's not Havu anymore. hREDS are the team to beat, and that's the statement they want to make heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, so many times in the past we've talked about a revenge tour for a certain team or what. Now it's just the hREDS. They got to prove that they are the top dogs. And, again, it's hard to kind of, immediately say this is the new top team without them kind of repeating a certain sort of level of play in the next season after winning that championship, right? I mean, it can easily, with how close those games were, you know, it was the sweep, with how close those games were, I mean, could have easily been that day was just a rough one for Lunda, but here come hREDS. They were undefeated through almost half the season. I think they went 14-0 before they lost the first game. Yeah. It's ridiculous what they've been able to do, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens when it comes to the playoffs, because obviously hREDS will for sure be there and probably at the top of the bracket.
You're going to look here at the teams in the lobby. Again, Elite Edges for hREDS for Färjestad. Saw Magnetic in there. A couple of other looks that you can occasionally end up seeing. As I always forget this screen exists.
Me too.
Everyone's player loadout heading into the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's McSavid doing that for us, as I believe he would have the we'd have his view doing that, or maybe someone else. But either way, thank you for whoever's doing that. I do love to see that. I'm a complete build nerd. So thank you, Sebi Larson.
And again, a friendly reminder, I mentioned it, that Sin and I are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. This Monday, we will be back as well. Of course, also make sure to check us out at sportsgamer.gg and sportsgamer.gg on all of our socials. But Sin, this Monday, I mentioned it, Havu for Lunda coming up. We also have HV71 and Granite, two very interesting matchups for very different reasons. As we talked about, Granite are that playoff bubble team right now, and HV71 trying to get themselves out of one of those relegation battle spots. So very much looking forward to Monday, Sin, week number 5. Correct me if I'm wrong, the final week of the regular season. Can you believe it? It's a sprint, not a marathon here in this season structure. As again, you see what these teams are playing for as well with our prize pool. But indeed, next week, the final week of the regular season, the last match day scheduled is next Thursday, February 10th. So we are that close in, a week away from our regular season finale. How insane is that?
Yeah, it's just really flown by. And I know it's only a week shorter, but for some reason it feels so much shorter than that. I mean, we still have the playoffs to go, of course, and maybe towards the end of that, we'll be feeling that caster's fatigue. But as of right now, it's just, wow, this has flown by, and I cannot wait for the playoffs to get started. But one more week of action, one more week of these teams jockeying to try to stay in playoff position or win those playoff positions or stay out of the relegation positions.
I always look forward, as we do have a little bit of a delay here, unfortunately. Again, we have word that McSavid ended up dropping, so they're having to put together the lobby here again. So a bit of a delay in terms of the anticipation, but I always look forward to that feeling, Sin, of like, yes, okay, we're going to get a break. We and
then the day after, it's like, oh, darn, we don't get the cast.
You finally get to the top of the mountain, and then you're just like, oh, man, but the journey was so fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But again, with this new season format, again, our spring season, we won't have to wait too long before coming back for the back half of things. Of course, new season structure. A lot of people being like, do I want to play NHL 22 competitively in July and in August? So this new format, Sin, I honestly think it benefits the league a lot in that I think it keeps the players more hungry, more focused, and certainly more determined to try and do obviously the best they can, if not outright, compete for our top prize. Again, the winners of the two seasons will take on one another in our new grand final, which I am very, very excited for. And Sin, I do believe we have a look here at some of the more recent results that we might be able to pop up on screen now. You see the top 3 there. Of course, we covered ZSC and Goons a little bit ago, but of course we knew Sawa pulled off the double on Urobro. You have for Lunda taking both games off of Conquer, and a split between HV71 and YMCA. Good result for both teams to be able to get points. 3 points for HV71. Huge result for them, as I believe they entered play today in 15th.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. That is nearly best case scenario for HV71. Obviously, the extra point would have been great, but didn't they do that against Djurgården, or was it was it Djurgården getting 3? I can't remember exactly when those two teams matched up, but one of them got a 3 out of 4 points or something like that, and it just ended up being such a good day. But yeah, I mean, HV71, that's absolutely massive as they try to at least. Well, they're definitely not in that automatic relegation position, but maybe even just a little bit closer to getting out of, having to even play to stay in the elite division.
They have jumped Conquer. I don't know if we have a look at the standings again. I don't know how close we are to these two teams being matched up again, but I do have it in front of me here. HV71, and there you go on your screen. Have I do believe I think, yeah, they've jumped by 2 points. I'm sorry, that's 6 for Conquer. Looked like an 8 as well. But indeed, HV71 now 2 points clear of Conquer. As a result, I mean, 4 games at hand for Gordon, but they're 5 points back of HV71. So again, it's in even talking about the relegation spots, 13, 14, 15. Obviously, if you got to finish in one of those relegation spots, you want to finish up as far as you can because you get the technically more favorable matchup.
Yeah, and again, but these pro teams are hungry. I mean, they want to be in this elite division. This is where you want to be, and then this is where you want to say. I mean, look how many teams that we've seen kind of make their way up. Now Granite Gaming was a pro division team. Goons, they were a pro division team, and this was all in the last few seasons here. It's crazy, and then look at them. They're both kind of jockeying for those playoff positions. So once you're here and you've earned it, and you fight to stay here, you never know what can kind of happen.
Absolutely. And I mean, talking about kind of how things have changed around the league, right? I mean, you look back to the playoffs last season, HV71 were able to make their way up by defeating Yippee Voskula. Northern Ascendancy was able to fend off relegation against who were known as Boxing Elite at the time, now known as Roots. So, I mean, you talk about it, right? The competition level for these teams in terms of just how difficult it is to stay in this division.
Yeah.
It's incredible, really. And it's one of those things that I like going back to look at is the standings from the prior seasons to see, like, okay, who was able to kind of work their way up and now happen to be kind of in the mix here. We do have the prediction split in 97% in favor of hREDS. Certainly worthy of that that role of favorites, I would say.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I'm looking at this now too, and we look back to ECL 11, so 2 seasons ago. Those relegation battles, ZSC Esports knocking off the then Gotham Knights to join this
Yeah.
division, and obviously we saw ZSC hold their spot. Tunnel Vision, who are now known as Sawo, earned their way up from Pro 2 years ago, and so did Goons. I mean, just 2 seasons ago, all 3 Pro Division teams won those relegation battles to work their way up. That's the beautiful thing about the Elite Division, everybody. There is always so much to play for at every stage of the season. But here we go. We are underway. hREDS, boy, guess what color they're wearing? Taking on Färjestad. Let's see how this one goes as Afe gets
Oh!
he gets the goal is what he gets. What a play from getting the puck to the back end, to the backside, and now putting the puck in the back of the net. 1-0 Färjestad, 2:35 into the game.
And this is what hREDS have to be aware of. It's just the quick strike ability of that Färjestad team. The slap pass pay doesn't work, but what a pass that was from behind the net to Afe, who picks that top corner. That was Mullen getting in there and feeding that near perfect pass to hit Afe, who once again just goes short side, no looking back. Färjestad just a couple minutes into this one, up 1-0.
Nothing like letting the casters, not letting the casters finish their pregame point before just immediately scoring a goal and catching us all off guard. What a way to start for FBK. Shot, rebound, save by McSavid. And that was leading goal scorer Villapoika on the doorstep. McSavid says no.
That's a massive, massive save. Obviously, there's going to be some pretty strong pushback here from hREDS. Not happy about giving up that opening goal. And Färjestad, next couple of minutes, just got to have to kind of weather this storm and not give up any easy chances. But they're having some trouble getting the puck out right now.
Indeed they are. Villapoika has this one knocked away. Benito still gives chase. They send it down for Afe. He'll win this foot race. Around the back, tried to get it in front. You had Fopatoflin there, unable to get a piece of it. Again, the underdogs in this match. Mullen absolutely destroying Villapoika with the offside call. Again, Färjestad right now entering play today in a playoff spot against many people's predictions after drastic lineup changes. I mean, you're talking about a third of the people in the lineup here today were not on this team last season. As McSavid makes the cover, there'll be another face-off in the hREDS attacking zone here.
And right now, it's kind of Färjestad. They're gonna keep trying to weather the storm and keep trying to send Afe out on his own, and he's able to get behind the defenseman with that really small sniper build that he loves to use a lot of speed on that. And when you're Domi and King of Apes, now both of them are very good, obviously defensive players, and it's, they also like to look for offense at times. And if you just give Afe like a split second, he could just take off, and already he has 2 steps on you. He just seems to have a sixth sense for when you're not, like, if you take your eyes off him for a split second, he just senses that and he's gone.
This puck sent all the way down. Icing call here. And right back into the FBK defensive zone. Of course, we saw it in the pregame. Mullen, the slight edge in terms of face-off winning percentage entering play today. It's an entirely different thing once you're in the matchup. Mullen, the clean win. Good movement there. Captain takes it over the line. Bumped. Here's Afe down low. Popotopoulos tries to go back in front. King of Apes able to take it away. Now it's a 3-on-2 developing for hREDS. Good movement. Better interception by Mr. Nipsely, who has it here. Can't make a clean pass. Good save by McSavid off the shot from the point from Domi. Pass back to Domi off the mark, and we'll go all the way back down. hREDS forced the reset. Not much of a chase from Färjestad.
Yeah, Färjestad obviously very comfortable defending in front of McDavid as well, and a good move there at the blue line. They're trying to send Afe, but nice little play there by King of Apes. I'm not sure if it was completely intentional, but I'm sure he didn't try to get out of the way of Afe by any means. They had a bit of a collision without the puck, and he just decided to stay there so that Afe couldn't get on his own, and they get the icing call before it.
Another face-off. Battle for this one. Mullen has it. Good patience. Nearly turns it over. Nipsely does. Pass, shot, save, rebound, still alive. McSavid keeps it out. Another chance down the short side. Färjestad under siege. McDavid standing tall. But still, it's hREDS. All pressure here. Back to King of Apes for Domi. Back to him. They will love that give-and-go one-timer. But that one was blocked. Keep an eye out for that one, Sim. We saw it in action a lot yesterday. As Nipsely again has it poke checked off of him, really struggling to deal with the pressure. Here's Popotopoulos. Good job getting out of trouble. And finally, they get some reprieve. Sebi Larson finds Mullen, poked to the half wall. Chopped down for Nicky Dangles, hREDS. Back in possession, 3 minutes to go. Again, under 3 minutes into this game. Afe struck. 1-0 lead for FBK. As it is Domi here, that pass. Nipsely gets it. Popotopoulos for Afe. Has a step. Hits the post on the backhand. That quickly, as Sin mentioned, they can get that chance. So close yet so far with King of Apes all over him on that chance. Nicky Dangle's taken down. Gets the pass to Benito. Around the back, final 30 seconds. Afe able to knock that one loose. Domi will win the race to the puck. Final 10 seconds here. King of Apes over the line for Benito, taken away by Popotopoulos. Afe can't clear. 1 second to go. King of Apes couldn't pick up that puck in stride, and that will do it for the first period. 1-0 lead thanks to this goal from Afe.
Yeah, just absolutely dangerous is Afe at all times here, and good saves coming out from McSavid to kind of stifle the pushback that we knew was coming from hREDS and really came at that latter half of the period. But there's been several other chances for Afe. That last one, an absolutely ridiculous pass. It was kind of a dump pass that he then picks up and is able to get in all alone. Almost gets the goal, as we said. It went off the post right here, but I want to kind of remind everyone of an interview we did with a little player here called Eki. And when they faced Färjestad in the playoffs, we asked him, what is your defensive strategy kind of going against a team that likes to rush? And he just said, Afe. You have to shut down Afe. It's all about Afe. And you can see why that's the case right here. Domi, King of Apes, 2 of the best defensemen in the Elite Division, having trouble containing Afe here. The second they, take a step forward to look for, put themselves in a position for a one-timer, Afe's already, planning his escape out of the zone and a way to get himself in on the breakaway. It's just absolutely dangerous here in Färjestad. The 1-0 lead here going into the second. We'll see if they can expand on that, or we'll see if hREDS can get that pushback.
Indeed, now a second period underway here. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams here tonight. Is Villapoica. Good movement there. Finds its way to Nicky Dangles. Good interception here by Popotopoulos. Has to drop back from Mullen. The give and go. Back to the point. Trouble there, perhaps. Sebi Larson stepping in. Drives the net. Just couldn't finish. Nicky Dangles again going back down the other way. Forced to drop it back. A lot of movement from hREDS on these break-ins. Nicky Dangles for Benito. Got the rifle one in front. Benito still has it down low. Goes to King of Apes. Back down into the corner. Cut in front. Short side bid. McSavid all over that one. Sebi Larson, great patience. Mullen loses it on the double team. Space for Benito. The shot and a kick stop. Save it again, denying hREDS. Loose puck. Nicky Dangles denied from point blank range. Another stop by McSavid.
Absolutely massive. Got Villapoika from point blank range earlier. Stopped him. That time Nicky Dangles takes a whack at it. He gets stoned by McSavid as well.
Off the draw, Mullen again. Another clean win. Sebi Larson for Offit. Bouncing puck off of the leg, and we'll have a face-off here.
Looks like he just tried to kind of dance through the checkers right there and then maybe get the pass off, but with that incidental contact, both Mullen and Fopatoflin got caught over the line.
And off the draw, it is hREDS here, in control. Villapoika, big hit. He's going to be hurt. Man down. Domi. Steps around the pressure from Fopatoflin. Rocket pass in front. McSavid has it. Smart move. He'll hold on to it. Another face-off. And Sin, no reason to risk it if you're McSavid. Mullen is getting the better of the draws here as we get another look at the hit that resulted in this injury to Villapoika.
Yeah, absolutely not. And Färjestad, again, they're pretty comfortable with their collapse and defense, even against a team like hREDS, because they know they have that counterattack threat at all times. They trust each other to play that defense. They trust McSavid. I think the really only issues right now are coming when they try to break that puck out a little bit slower, and hREDS just kind of go all over them.
Bouncing puck is in. Domi ties it up, and Sin, maybe that is what it was going to take to beat McSavid. I would hate to be a goalie.
Here I thought we were playing NHL 22. Apparently we're actually playing pinball, or at least Domi is. He fires that puck on. It hits about 3 other different things, including, I think, McSavid as he tried to reach back for it, finds its way in the back of the net, and good gracious, we said, well, he probably doesn't mind taking the face off, but after that sort of weird play, maybe having some second thoughts.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I always like to listen to what people set their little goal horn / chime to, and it was almost a festive kind of bell chiming for Domi, and this game was certainly giving on that one. Although maybe if we can suggest, can we get the rights to Pinball Wizard by the Who? Domi has a new nickname, whether he understands it or cares for it, doesn't matter. We are tied at 1 apiece here. hREDS finding that tying goal. Heartbreaker for Färjestad in the way that it was scored, but you know, I talked about it, a movable force, irresistible object, a resistible force, a movable object, call it what you will. That's probably what it's going to take to beat these two goalies. High quality chances or very, very lucky bounces.
And this is where it's really getting dangerous for Färjestad here. Every time they try to break it out, the hREDS attack. That one just skittered through the crease.
Here's Domi back at the point. Villapoika takes the hit. Good interception here by Afe. Self-sauce to get the speed. Into open space. Drops from Mullen. Sebi Larson shot. Stopped by FaZe. One-timer kick save by FaZe. Makes it look easy. 5.5 minutes to go here. King of Apes pass intercepted by Afe. Just trying to get out of the zone. Turns it over. Good poke check there. Saving the day was Nipsely. Pass in front. Saved by McSavid again. Unbelievable stops. Domi, King of Apes. King of Apes still has it. Double team pressure. Afe takes it away. Finds Mullen. Afe step ahead. Mullen on the cutback. And an offside call here.
I like what Mullen tried to do, though. Tried to gain the line with enough space as he was pushing that puck across. So when he did do the spinorama, he didn't take it back out of the zone. And I think that's actually what put Afe offside right there. That's so hard to time, but credit him for at least trying to do that. But it's kind of getting really dicey for Färjestad here, especially in this tie game now. Just when they try to break that puck out with control, hREDS forechecker all over him.
Well, Patoflin from Mullen loses it before he can pull the trigger on the shot. Numbers here for hREDS. Villapoika to Nicky Dangles. Loose puck and McSavid. Able to hold the line and keep that one out.
McSaban having to make some pretty big saves in this one here as the hREDS pressure keeps mounting against Färjestad, and they're having less and less time and space to try to get those breakout passes on. Even the long stretch passes are just simply not there. Look at the pressure coming out from the forwards. All three of them down low.
Final minute, Sebi Larson more than willing to take his time. Nipsely, good movement. It's Afe in space on that left-hand side. Tried to cut across. Was knocked away by Domi. 5 seconds to work here for Nicky Dangles. Hit on the toe drag. Loose puck. Fopatoflin can't clear. Nicky Dangles can't pull the trigger on the shot. It's 1-1 heading into the third period, as we'll get a look at the physical play from Mullen. Although, boy, wouldn't we love a look at that extra goal.
Yeah, we absolutely would. I'm hoping we'll get that here in the period break, because I still don't quite understand how it went in. We see the tail end of it right there, but it was the sheer amount of bounces in the air that it took off various people in the slot that really kind of made my head hurt. And hopefully we'll get a look at that. But you can see just kind of the time on attack differential, which really at the end of the day, pay no heed to, because Färjestad is that counterattack team. Färjestad is that let's get Afe in alone on the goaltender style team. And here it is. Off the knee, off the head.
What was that? And every day we are surprised. Every single day we cover NHL Gamer, we see something
It's
that
like
we just don't quite understand.
How did the puck speed up going off his knee? It's like he moved his knee slightly and it rocketed the puck right into the dude's dome and then into the net. Well, I would say that's using your head, but he put it in on his own goal. So there goes that pun.
Unbelievable. We are tied at 1 apiece off of that goal. Might I suggest, I think it was Sebi Larson who blocked that one. If he has such strong knees, might I recommend an MMA career or maybe Muay Thai at the very least? Dangerous man. So you seen the footage of people training Muay Thai, kicking the banana trees? I'd hate to see Sebi Larson do that. He'd knock it down with one kick.
Well, feed an entire village with all the fruity knocked down on the ground at least. So there's a positive in that.
God, that's what I want to see. Sebi Larson retires from competitive hockey and just kicks down banana trees to feed the local populace. That's a feel-good sports story. Here is Benito. We'll stop the absurdity and focus on the action, we promise. King of Apes for Benito.
Oh.
He gets run over.
Mullen. What a hit.
He's had a hell of a game so far. Fopatoflin, a little bit of space. Pass across just out of the reach of Mullen. Not sure how many hits Mullen has on the season, but I swear this feels like a more physical style from him than we're used to seeing. Movement here for Färjestad. Sebi Larson runs into traffic. There's Afe, bouncing puck. Nipsely tries to send it down low. Domi was all over it. Miscommunication. hREDS will pounce on it, but a good poke check by Mullen to take it away. And look at that, the patience of Sebi Larson. Great work. Unfortunately, that follow-up pass off the mark. Afe can't get it to Mullen. No icing on the play. 12.5 to go here in the third period. Again, just the first game of 2 for what, for all we know, could be a playoff preview. It's a shot save. Living up to his namesake. Poika knocked off the puck. Mullen, a wrecking ball. Sebi Larson for Afe. Gets it back. Loose puck again. A lot of the play going in favor of hREDS. Färjestad kind of struggling to get pressure in the attacking zone. They gain the line and then have nowhere to go. So Afe gets that stretch pass. Mullen again playing with fire, but he survives it. You saw all 3 hREDS forwards try to pounce in. Here's Afe for Mullen. Fopatoflin now down low in that corner. Tried to dish back to the point. Sebi Larson, doesn't he has the knees of a top Muay Thai fighter. Doesn't have eyes in the back of his head to be able to pick that one up.
Yeah, unfortunately not for him. That was a nice bit of work by Faye. What a chop right there to keep that alive. Oh, and then another one, I think, in return from the hREDS skater right there. A couple nice chops, sort of keep the puck away from the opposing skater.
As it is Benito. Good patience with the puck. Goes down low for the point. And Nicky Dangles denied. Great stop. May have hit the side of the goal, but on a chance like that, you give the goaltender credit.
Yeah, he was there, and I definitely heard that post.
Loose puck off, scores! Sebi Larson on the rebound. Färjestad regain the lead with 5:12 to play.
His 5th on the season. Sebi Larson jumping in there to pounce on that rebound from the great work down low by, I think that was Mullen and Afe there. And of course, Afe being down low, right in tight on the goaltender. No surprise there. Maybe a bit surprising to see Sebi Larson coming in there and cleaning up the trash, but that's exactly what he did. Färjestad take the lead back with just 5:12 to go here in the 3rd period.
Sebi Larson's ability to time those step-ups has been on full display this season, but hREDS are not done. That puck kicked away. Never know when it's going to go off of someone's knee and into the back of the net. Let's see what FBK can do. Here's Afe out of nowhere, draws the trip, and we have a penalty shot with less than 4 minutes to play.
What a moment right now for Färjestad, and Afe especially. That was a nice attempt by King of Apes, but here we go.
The team's leading goal scorer, as signified by the golden helmet. It's a penalty shot for Afe to get the insurance goal. He hits the post! So close, yet so far.
We're so used to seeing him go in there with speed. I was so thrown off by him taking it slow, and hopefully I guess he was trying to take a phase off guard with that as well.
Nipsely turns this one over. Nicky Dangles with speed. 2-on-1. Pass, scores! Heartbreak for Färjestad. hREDS survived the penalty shot and tie it up less than 30 seconds later.
What a swing of momentum right there. What could have been a 3-1 lead for Färjestad now turns into a 2-2 tie for hREDS. Brilliant counterattack. Great job by Nicky Dangles, waiting till he was sure he could get that pass across, until he saw the defenseman have to kind of come off of his angle a little bit to play perhaps the poke. That's when he chose to pass it across, and that's how it got to Villapoika there on the backhand, who pushed that one across the line. We are tied here late in the 3rd.
League leading 36th goal of the season for Villapoika. We are tied at 2 with 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd. What could have been a 3-1 lead for Färjestad instead now. Both these teams, I mean, you go for the win. Do you take the point? Intrigued here to see the risk assessment on the fly, Sin, and just determining when these teams elect to go for it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of this. A lot of the shot clock winding down. You don't want to give, other teams the big chances here. Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to be careful. I think Sebi Larson was trying to go for a slap around there, but it's not necessarily that Färjestad's trying to wait for that overtime. They're just trying to burn as much time as possible so that hREDS can't, lock him in there and with a lot of time to get a few chances.
40 seconds to play here in this one. Again, if it does go to overtime, sudden death rules in effect. We play until there's a winner. It's Afe trying to find a little bit of space. He is snuffed out the second he crosses the line. Nicky Dangles. That one knocked back. Sin, in the past, we deemed it Therapy Thursday, I think, last week. And for Afe, going to be tough to walk into that second game if Färjestad end up losing this one.
Yeah.
That penalty shot could haunt him, but here we go. One more chance. Mullen knocked off the puck. Overtime is indeed on the agenda. hREDS finding a way, as they're so likely to do. Well, we're going to OT here in this first game.
Yeah, just hREDS sticking with it. And again, they had the advantage throughout the entire game, but you're often going to see that when Färjestad goes up against people. They're all about that counterattack. They're all about that Afe show, trying to get in there alone on those rush plays, those stretch plays, the Omaha plays, if you will. But hREDS, I mean, I still can't get over it. So close. Afe scoring on that penalty shot. I think he's hit 2 posts in this game, both on that backhand. One on the that breakaway earlier from kind of that shot dump pass to hit him when he just had a step on the defenseman, to that on the penalty shot. 2 times hitting the post on the backhand. And it's got to feel a little bit bad, but again, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, and hREDS can make you pay when you don't capitalize. That's exactly what they did there.
Again, that look at the goal from Sebi Larson on the rebound. Thought it might be the winner. So far, or as we know now, I mean, at the moment, so far it's been a very close game. You'd think, okay, 1 goal might be enough. Not the case with a stunning final couple of minutes in this game. Overtime is underway. We'll see who walks away with this extra point. Again, hREDS trying to help secure that number 1 seed. Färjestad fighting for better playoff seeding at this stage. Again, you talk about the gigantic hit there. You talk about the likely top 3 being hREDS, Sawo, and Frölunda. Don't know if anyone wants to take on either of those 3 teams in the playoffs, but ultimately there will be playoff matchups for those 3 as Afe intercepts this one. Tried to drop it off from Mullen. Here's Nicky Dangles. Good pressure. King of Apes stepping in. Shot saved by McSavitt with that blocker. Turnover there by Nipsely. Nicky Dangles has it poked away. Afe for Fopatoflin has numbers with him. Goes Nipsely. That shot taken away before it could hit his teammates for the deflection bid. Benito sends it down low. Nicky Dangles is there. Back to the point. King of Apes. Verdomi has to hold off on going back to his defensive partner. Domi again, you see, it's Afe waiting, trying to pick off that pass. One-timer saved by McSavitt yet again. Villapoika, Nicky Dangles, rifles one across, buffer shot, stopped. And we'll have a face-off here.
Couple interesting looks right there for hREDS. Not exactly the chances that they wanted, but still testing McSavitt here early on into overtime.
Here we go. Another big face-off. 14 stops now in this game for McSavitt. Great poke check to take away the cross crease. Nipsely has that one deflect. Villapoika kept it in for the moment. Mullen able to stop that one from going on goal. Färjestad again, the movement. They tried the quick out. Stopped by FaZe. That one ended up being on target.
That was actually a really good play as they actually keep that in right here.
Here's Afe. Has it poked away. Kept in by Sebi Larson. Stopped by FaZe. Pass, though, from Fopatoflin off the mark. We're already halfway through this overtime. Benito can't hold on to it. Actually, there he is at the point. It was King of Apes stepping in. Domi. Down for Villapoika. King of Apes down low, fighting for this one. Pressuring Mr. Nipsely. They hold on to it. Sebi Larson takes the hit. Benito sauce pass off the wall, off the mark, and an offensive zone draw coming up for Färjestad.
This could be bid. Mullen's been pretty good on the face-offs. He's won a couple in this offensive zone. They're going to go with that aggressive set, and we'll see what kind of play they want to run off it.
High up here, loose puck recovered by Villapoika. The aggressiveness from Fopatoflin trying to make something happen in the neutral zone. Mr. Nipsely has this puck, able to find Afe. Has to go to the left. Great movement. Mullen, nowhere to go. Nicky Dangles gets it to Villapoika now. hREDS back in on the attack. To the point again down low. Nicky Dangles completely stifled by Mr. Nipsely. Close game. About as close as you can get. Just waiting to see. We'll find that breakthrough. hREDS the more sustained attacking pressure. FBK. Certainly the tendency, to say the least, if not the proclivity, to just find goals out of absolutely nowhere. Villapoika's pass. Intercepted well by Mullen. Here's Fopatoflin. Now Sebi Larson. Afe. Shot rebound. That was kicked well out by FaZe. Great work. Villapoika can't complete that move. A real-time 2 minutes is now in effect. The team's going to be wary of potential penalties. Again, that risk-reward. It changes on the fly. That shot blocked down. Again, it is the good back-and-forth passes here from FBK, just trying to get hREDS moving and to maybe open something up. Fopatoflin can't hold on to that one. Domi's pass intercepted. When will we find a winner again? 97% of people thought hREDS would win this one. They technically still have the chance to do so. Here's Afe. A little bit of space. Loses it again. There's nowhere for the Färjestad forwards to go once they gain the zone. Here's Villapoika. Holds up. Loose puck. Benito ran out of space. Mr. Nipsely again for Mullen. Now Afe, great poke check by Domi. Mickey Dangles takes the huge hit. Puck still alive. King of Apes. Shrugged off by Sebi Larson. 50 seconds to go. Great skating again on display by Sebi Larson. He finds Afe. Drop pass. He overskated it. And now it's Benito going down the other way. Mr. Nipsely, though. Great defensive effort in this overtime. Prevents another chance on the rush as Afe gets it out of the zone. Sebi Larson with a little bit of space. Sebi Larson shot. Loose puck bouncing around. Thrown on by Mullen and stopped by Faze. Never know with those buffered shots. Here's Villapoica. Benito. His pass intercepted as Villapoica took another big hit. 15 seconds in this overtime. Mullen has it for Färjestad. What a pass to Fopa Toflin. The spin still has it down low. In front, paddled on. Benito clears. Double overtime coming up here. Saying it's just the first game of 2 between these two teams.
Yeah, I think probably the matchup where we didn't think we would see overtime with the way kind of these two teams play. Either Färjestad was going to get a bunch of crazy goals or hREDS is going to do what hREDS does and just kind of dictates the pace and wins a game outright. But this has been a back and forth tilt here between these two teams, and it's going to take a second overtime at the very least to figure this one out. And you can see there the time on attack differential clearly in favor of hREDS. Passing percentage very, very close. hREDS obviously with the more shots, but I think if you look at close scoring chances, they would be probably pretty even across the board. Again, Färjestad does a pretty good job of boxing teams out when they do have to play defense, giving teams the perimeter at times. So a lot of that, zone time is hREDS kind of looking to get the chances that they want to get. A lot of movement, puck movement, body movement, up, down, and side to side, trying to get the defense out of position and the goaltender moving laterally.
Double overtime here. Again, we will stick with this until we find a winner. And the second game coming up immediately after this one, although depending on how long this one goes, they might want a bit of a break. As Domi sends it down low, Benito. Still on this one. Nipsely with the poke check. Still the captain in possession, and a fortunate miscommunication there. Domi just not able to pick that one up. Poika takes the hit. Here's Benito. The spin. Trying to maintain possession. Sebi Larson's there. Good duel that FBK come out on top from. Here is Fopa Toflin. Pass off the mark. It's Mullen again. Sends it around. Afe is going to win that foot race. Good heads up play. It's actually going to go all the way around to Sebi Larson. Fopa Toflin tried to go back to him. Nowhere to go. Fopa Toflin. Dangerous stick lift there. Goes down to Sebi Larson. Tries to skate it out. Good defense from hREDS. Nipsely the interception. Now Mullen again up for Afe. Drop pass from Mullen. Can't get the shot on. Fopa Toflin from Mullen. Blocked. He dangles. Good movement there. That pass from Domi off the mark, though. Here is Benito for King of Apes. Pass in front. Shot scores! Benito's the hero. hREDS win it in double overtime to take the extra point.
Nice bit of passing there from hREDS, just like we were saying between periods to try to spread everyone out, down low, up high, laterally, and they get that one back down low and across for Benito, who puts it in on the second opportunity as McSaban had slid out of position right there, just taps it in, and that will do it. hREDS with the big extra point here, but credit to Färjestad for getting that so important point to keep, to keep themselves higher up in that playoff bracket.
Absolutely. Here as we get a look, that was the Sebi Larson goal that gave Färjestad the 2-1 lead. And again, they looked like they were in the driver's seat, up 2-1. A penalty shot saved leads to that goal for Villapoica from hREDS to send this game to overtime. And then once we're there, one more look at it is Benito in front, able to shovel that one home. hREDS walking away with 2 points. Färjestad still earning a very important point of their own. The numbers in favor of hREDS. Again, for FBK, against a team like hREDS, you got to make the most of your opportunities. And a post hit for Afe on that penalty shot. As I think maybe Sin, you could argue Sebi Larson here is in control of this camera, wondering about maybe some goaltender interference.
Yeah,
it's tough to say where that contact's from, though.
Yeah, there is some contact there, obviously, and from that angle, I actually feel like there's less contact with the goaltender than the one I saw before when it was the kind of the perspective of Benito from the back of Benito. There, it looked like a lot more goaltender contact. So yeah, tough situation, but yeah, Afe hit 2 posts. I mean, yeah, the penalty shot one may turn out to be the biggest one, but he had that sort of partial breakaway chance earlier with a defender on his back where he went backhand and he hit the post as well. So yeah, exactly that. If you capitalize on your chances, if you have that kind of ruthless efficiency that oftentimes we see from a player like Afe, they probably walk away with the win in that one. But again, it's tough to do that at all times. It's tough to do that against hREDS, and you know hREDS is just going to pour it on with that time and attack, with the shots, with the chances. Eventually, some of those are going to go in, and in that case, you know, they dropped the extra point. They had that opportunity, just fell short.
So with that, our first game between the two in the books. We'll be back after a brief word from our sponsors here, and we'll set the stage for our fourth and final game of the broadcast.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Lähdetään haastamaan yhdellä yhtä vastaan. Loistava nälkäisen pelaajan ratkaisu. Ohi mennään. Luukulla ollaan valmiina. Ja sitten katsotaan. Kaikki kestää. Vanhanaikaisella. Kiekkolapaa. Ilmaveivi. Klassikko. Maali! Wilhelm vei todella komeasti nakkikioskille. Wernerin nakki on loistava vahvistus Wilhelm joukkueelle.
Again, a big thank you to our friends at Wilhelm and Kovalan Lakritsi, ST Hockey as well, for sponsoring this winter season here of ECL 22. Of course, our Elite Division coverage continues in just a matter of moments, of course, and our second game between hREDS and FBK, and very intrigued to see how this one goes for all the reasons, of course, that we have talked about. But man, just a heartbreaker. And we've seen a couple of heartbreakers today in terms of how the results could have gone. But at the end of the day, the results are what they are. I think we do have some of the latest results from around the league as well that would kind of give us more of an idea, of course, of what's going on, not only here on the broadcast, as Northern Ascendancy pulling off the double against Djurgården. That really hurts Djurgården's chance of making up ground on the likes of Conquer Gaming.
And what a little stretch there for Northern Ascendancy, as we could see there from the latest results, winning all 4 of the matchups that are on there. That's absolutely massive for them to try to, you know, get out of those sort of relegation battles. But yeah, for Djurgården, absolute heartbreaker. You know, that's just no other way to put it. That's absolutely heartbreaking result out of that series.
You mentioned for Northern Ascendancy, right now, if the season were to end today, they would not be in a relegation spot.
Wow.
They would be safe. They would be secured. So Northern Ascendancy, we're hanging around 14th, 15th. Right now, they find themselves in 11th on point percentage. So it could be the great escape from Northern Ascendancy. We saw that from a different incarnation of Sawo not too long ago, a couple of seasons previously. We'll mention for Northern Ascendancy up next. 3 playoff teams, though. IQ, hREDS, and Goons next Thursday to end the season. So have they done enough when they still have competition from the likes of YMCA and Urabro Hockey? I love this time of the season. I absolutely do. Just, again, every result has some sort of effect on the standings, for better or worse. But, yeah, rough spot now for Djurgården to be in heading into their final few games. And speaking of the remaining schedule here, I mean, we've talked about for Färjestad, what a result this would be. They don't have, they don't have really that toughest competition coming up. They are playing right now, as it stands, 3 non-playoff teams. Granted, you have Roots, who are right on the bubble, ZSC, right on the bubble, but they also play Conquer next Wednesday. So, great chance here for Färjestad. You already walked away with a point in this matchup. Another 1 or 2 would certainly be nice. But I think FBK have kind of gotten through. I mean, I don't know. On the schedule on the website, it does have their matchup with Frölunda that just might not have been played. It might have been postponed because, of course, Frölunda haven't played that same amount of games. So they might still have to play former champions in Frölunda. But for the most part, it's a schedule that should allow Färjestad to make the playoffs. And the action underway here, of course, in the home green now for FBK on this one. We'll see if they can have as hot of a start. Again, our second game underway between these two. The regular season matchup between our defending champions and hREDS, winning 3-2 in overtime in that first game. Double overtime, for that matter. taking on Färjestad. Both these teams, playoff teams over the past couple of seasons. Again, though, it was FBK. Man, a huge hit there to take down Nicky Dangles. But
That is.
then, I mean, FBK, they've made the playoffs numerous years in a row despite lineup changes.
Yeah, and in this one, they seem to really have a clear-cut game plan. They've really been throwing the body in this series. I know we haven't covered Färjestad a lot, but I can't remember them being this physical really at any point, and it really seems to be something that they want to throw at hREDS here.
As it is Afe there. Big shout out to our friends from Norex Gaming. Hello to the team that still have my favorite logo in all of, I mean, maybe not just like esports, but just as a logo itself might be my favorite. There's a chance here. Nicky Dangles denied, and man, that puck looked like it was loose. And that makes me nervous for every goaltender, Sin, because that slight bit of movement, that puck can fire into the back of your net.
Yeah, that's always kind of it's always been a scary moment, but especially this year here as you see Afe right there, right off the draw, just sprinting up the ice. And credit's due. Domi, King of Apes, had, since kind of that first period, they're really doing a better job of trying to keep their eye on Afe at all times, because, again, that is the main weapon. And even when you know about it, it can be so hard to contain. So, yeah, credit where credit's due as they try to shut down Afe for the rest of this game.
Again, the prediction up in chat as well. Get involved. Who do you think is going to win this one? Again, it was 97% siding with hREDS. It took a while, but ultimately that 97% correct for that first game. Certainly having to wait a little bit longer here to find our first goal compared to the last. As Domi will dump this one in, it's mistimed, and they'll touch it up just to make sure they have a chance at a better possession. So really, it's a smart move. I mean, you could either give up a free possession or have a 50-50 chance on the faceoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see a lot of that kind of going down with teams will just instead of letting the team kind of reset with the puck, just chase it down, even when they've committed or kind of committed to the zone.
Good puck movement again from Färjestad. That pass a little bit off the mark. They maintain, and of course, just trying their best to get the opposition to move. As Färjestad can't hold on to that one. Another great puck chop there by Domi. You saw a lot of those puck chops in that first game. Benito able to hold on to that one. They try the quick out. Afe's there. Poked away by King of Apes. Expertly defended. He knew it was coming. Was able to make that play as Domi knocked off the puck. Down low now. It is Domi again in the attacking zone. Now Färjestad. Unable to make the play. It's hREDS right back in on the attack. Villapoika for Domi. Loose puck. Villapoika has a chance. Save it, able to hold his ground. Hip check there from Afe, and unfortunately the puck ends up on goal. McSavid has to cover.
Yeah, that was another kind of dangerous bounce. Things are a little bit hectic, but so far so good for Färjestad, not having surrendered a goal. A lot of pressure coming out from hREDS as we expect.
Off the draw, it is hREDS in control. Nicky Dangles down low for Benito. Trying to hold on to it. Mullen finally able to get it out of trouble. Afe hands it off for Färjestad. He'll send it around. Mullen's there. In front for Afe, knocked loose. Poked away one more time. Domi able to maintain possession here, though. Benito around for Nicky Dangles to the point. King of Apes keeps it in for Domi. Back for King of Apes. Intercepted by Mullen. Not the one-timer that we really expect to see from King of Apes on that chance. Now lockdown defense from hREDS, and they're right back in on the attack. Villapoika stripped of the puck by Mullen. 2 minutes to play here now. Loose puck. An errant pass. FBK will be able to reset here. It's been really just a battle right now of the blue lines. Neither team really willing to give those clean zone entries.
Yeah, and it's been pretty hard for either of them to really establish themselves. A fanned poke there by Sebi Larson, which did take him out of position. A bit dangerous here, but here we go. Afe, 2-on-1.
5 seconds to play. Mullen has it knocked loose by Benito, and that will do it. For the first period, a goalless affair through the opening 20 minutes. Surprise, surprise, it's Mullen with the hit highlight.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly these plays are seemingly disappearing. You look at a split second, it looks like a 2-on-1 that could develop. All of a sudden, those back checkers from hREDS, coming out to break things up. I think that was Benito getting that poke off, and that's just kind of been what it is. Only one registered shot for both of these teams. Yeah, hREDS have nearly 3 minutes of time on attack, but with the only one registered shot, how dangerous are those 3 minutes? Färjestad having an even tougher time establishing themselves. No registered shots, sub 30 seconds on that time on attack. So kind of as you said, a very neutral zone heavy first period, as both of these teams have sort of adjusted and they don't want to give up, really anything for free here. And I'd say the adjustments are definitely working on the defensive end of things. We'll see which team is able to make that necessary adjustment for the offensive side, be able to find that opening goal.
If FBK ever made a play on words of Afe's name for offensive, I mean, it's at least a good hashtag. You gotta run with the play on words. It is FBK in the attacking zone, maybe already surpassing what they had in zone time from that first period. Xavier Larson for Afe. Run off the puck. Here we go, hREDS. With King of Apes leading the way, draws the trip. And we will see the hREDS power play go to work. Then we know they're special teams giants. FBK, though, just behind hREDS in terms of special teams. It's going to be an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, Färjestad with the third best penalty kill here going up against the second best power play. This is a clash of the Titans.
Tofflin can't hold on to that one. And again, this one goes behind the back of the net with Villapoika giving chase. Who has it now? Between the legs, pass off the mark and cleared. FBK had regained possession. See what hREDS can do. They're halfway through this power play already. It is Villapoika for Domi. Gets it to King of Apes. Watch out for it. There it is. Second chance. Save. McSaven. Rebound. Scores! Somehow, some way, the puck finds its way to Villapoika. As it so often seems to do. hREDS up 1-0.
Another goal on the season for Villapoika, who's approaching swiftly that 40-goal mark. And what a puck pickup and what a shot. Bending his arms in ways that only apparently Villapoika can, as he guided that one back towards the net. And yeah, you said it, kind of awkward bounces there, but hREDS will take it. That was a very good power play by them, starting to the outside, getting the shot towards the net, and all three forwards, in that kind of triangle positioning, collapsing around, and Villapoika is the one to get the shot on. Tofflin trying to split the D into that zone right there and get a quick chance, but puck poked off his stick.
Villapoika now 37 goals in what will be his 24th game of the season. Next highest, and the only other guy to break 30 goals on the year is Eki. So we'll see what Eki can do. Needs at least 7 goals in his next 4 games to tie this pace. Incredible. Villapoika shooting over 50% on the season so far. And we have a fight! And they'll just draw it out. I think it was accidental.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Domi meant, yeah. I mean, boys, you're already fighting. Let's go for it. There we go. Afe throwing a little bit. And it will be a draw.
I wonder, are they going to get... I don't think they get 2 for roughing if they don't swing or anything, so I'm curious how they're going to handle this if we're going to get a stoppage or anything like that. There should be just, an option just to turn fighting off completely. I would say customization is king. And yeah, they might... Okay, yeah, we might get a drop as the teams discuss things, and they might, I don't know, pick up from the second period, 13-25. Just a interesting situation. We have seen a line brawl before, obviously, which was hilarious and great. It was at the end of a game, and it really didn't matter. Was that hREDS in Frölunda, I want to say, or?
It might have been, yeah. I don't remember who was involved.
I remember Playmaker fighting, and
yeah.
Yeah.
So we will await to see what happens here. An accidental fight, as Sin mentioned, how great it would be if we could just turn it off. But unfortunately, we cannot. So I'll be intrigued to see what happens here. And in terms of
we're going to drop, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although it might be the timeout waiter.
Yeah, no, I see the spinning circle. It usually means a goalie leaves, so everyone's getting dropped.
There it is, yeah. So it is official. We will have a restart after an accidental fight. We will accept our apologies for the extra time taken out of the day via Twitter or Discord DM. Thank you very much, fellas. As we don't have really too much to assess here, as we're going to wait in terms of how this is going to be handled as well. I'm going to wait to see if we get word here, as if they're actually going to wait until the second period. If they are, we might throw it to a brief little break here, because I'm going to be honest, we have talked about these two teams to death, and I don't have enough filler time.
Yeah, well, we can go back to looking around the league and talking about, Northern Ascendancy escaping,
we can.
the relegation. I guess you could call it their Dillinger escape plan.
Okay, we'll be right back. Yes, right. We will indeed be right back. We'll let Sin pat himself on the back for that one. We'll be right back, everybody. Stick with us, and the action will continue once EA allows us to turn off fighting. Thank you. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we are back. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us there, as, again, the process for what happens when an accidental fight, you restart the game, you let the timer go down to where you were, and you continue like it's business as usual. So the teams are nearly back to where they needed to be. Sim, we often talk about this, the first couple of minutes after a restart, I think you're going to see kind of an interesting setup in terms of the momentum and kind of how these teams go. Because, the flow of the game has certainly been affected.
Yeah, it absolutely has. As we got word that they were kind of skating in a train, I guess, to run out the first period, and we're seeing a little bit of that right now. We had to show you guys because, games should be fun, and this is absolutely a blast, I gotta say.
The highlight, the highlight of the season, right there. We've had some highlights here in the ECL Elite Division before. This is my favorite. I'm just gonna sit.
No words for that. It speaks for itself. I love this league. I love these guys out here, and well, obviously they're having a lot of fun as well.
The timer getting closer to where it needs to be. Oh goodness! All you can do is have fun with it at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Kind of the weird accidental fight is Afe shot the puck on net. Someone's probably trying to, do a little slash in there, and it's unfortunate those two mechanics clashed in the way that they did. But that's how it went right there, as you see Benito's stick doing some interesting stuff into the boards there as well. But I believe it's pretty... There it is.
There we go.
13:25, almost on the dot.
All right, everybody. So now we continue on, if we can. After that absurdity, we continue on as if it's business as usual. Again, nearly to the midway point of the period. And nearly the midway point of the game as well. Again, the 1-0 lead thanks to that no-look goal from Villapoica off of one of the most bizarre no-look puck pickups you will see. But again, the game does what it do as Malin's shot doesn't find its way through. I will... be joining Dr. Seuss in writing his next book, apparently. As Afe able to gain the line again, only momentarily. King of Apes has done such a good job in shutting him down so far this game. He's Domi. That pass into the high danger area, handled well by Färjestad. What a pass by Fopa Toflin. Again, just nowhere for FBK to go. It is Benito. Takes the hit from Malin. Ipsley to spin to try and bide himself some time. Sebi Larson steps up into the play, runs into Nicky Dangles. Now Benito back for Nicky Dangles. King of Apes back to him. And had Nicky Dangles got that backhand shot on, I think we would have had that goal there, the insurance tally for hREDS. He jumped to the far side by Sebi Larson. Bouncing puck. Fopa Toflin's pass intercepted. He does win it back. Puck down low. Malin is going to get called for interference there, though. That is just a very unfortunate break.
Yeah, it's just the guy didn't get the puck. Yeah, Not a huge fan of that, but that's just kind of how the game is right now. That's Mullen trying to make the correct play to bump a guy off the puck as he was about to get it. That's just good, hard forecheck and coming out. And now it's Färjestad breaking out the dump and chase, which we haven't seen them do a lot. We've been seeing some other teams in Euro whip that out, and it was working for him.
Around the back of the net, Nicky Dangles not able to outduel Sebby Larson. Turnover shot save. McSavid with the glove off a dangerous chance.
Had to be sharp right there on the power play. On the penalty kill. hREDS with the power play. They're second, I want to say, or third of this series. They did score on the one prior.
Good movement there. Domi's shot wired wide. D-to-D work, and again, Domi has it. Back for King of Apes. Down low. Nicky Dangles circles back to the point. Pass in front. No shot. Nicky Dangles still has it. Shot save. Rebound handled well by Nipsely. Fopatoflin is go. Oh, that's rough. Fopatoflin to the box, doesn't clear it all the way down, takes the follow-up trip. 25 seconds of 5-on-3.
I feel like he did the self-sauce, and I thought he maybe was thinking he would, I don't know. I think that was just a poke attempt, and I don't know. They're only down by one. I feel like they didn't necessarily have to push for offense right there, and it's now going to lead to a 5-on-3 for them. Off
the draw, face off, glove save. McSavid read that one perfectly to deny Nicky Dangles.
And that's Afe taking the draws right there. Tried to switch his grip at the last second. They may have worked against him there on that face-off. We'll see what hREDS are able to win this one, too.
On the tie-up, the puck goes all the way back to the neutral zone. A few moments away from Mullen rejoining the fray here. Domi for King of Apes. Pass over. They maintain possession. Kick back to the point. And again down low. Benito looking at his options. Runs into traffic. Sent down by Mullen. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage here for hREDS. And both these teams great on the special teams. Power play and PK. 31 seconds to go on the man advantage. A 1-0 lead after a 3-2 overtime, double overtime victory for hREDS in the first game between these two, as Afe will clear that out. Both teams very much on pace to make the playoffs. Both teams still fighting for better seeding. We're back to 5-on-5. Fopatoflin out of the box, but here's Domi for hREDS. That shot attempt blocked. Sebby Larson can't handle it, though. Benito would have had another pretty wide open cage to shoot at on the back end. Couldn't pull the trigger. He dangles for Benito. Villapoika has that one knocked loose. Gets it back. Chance scores! Benito finds the back of the net. Villapoika strikes again on the forecheck, though, to win it to him. 2-0 in favor of hREDS.
Yeah, that one just felt like a matter of time right there. hREDS were just swarming in that offensive zone, winning battles to lose pucks, intercepting the resets and the breakout passes. Färjestad was attempting there. The pass across to the slot. What an angle on that. And Benito wasn't able to pull the trigger on that first one. Is able to pull the trigger on that one. Beat McSavid on that blocker side. 2-0 for hREDS here. Less than a minute left in the second.
Here's Villapoika, drops back for Nicky Dangles to the point, stopped, loose puck, scores! His second of the game. Villapoika was able to win the race to the rebound. 3-0 hREDS.
And the goal total keeps getting bigger. Is that 3 or 4 for him? Either way, he's 1 or 2 goals away from 40 on the season. I do know that Villapoika has just been on fire. He has not let his foot off the gas pedal, and around that net like a vulture, cleaning up the trash. 3-0 here. 2 late second period goals for hREDS, and Färjestad, if they weren't on the back foot before, they certainly are now.
I do believe that to be goal number 37 for the league's leading scorer. A 3-0 lead in favor of hREDS. Because of this goal right there at the end, you got to feel for McSavid. I mean, there's been some tough breaks for him in goal in terms of animations, but end of the day, great players continue to find ways to score, and that is what Villapoika has done, Sin. And you know, we talk about the changes they made to their team over the past couple of years, you know, bringing in Domi, bringing in FaZe in goal, and obviously Villapoika as well. Just what he's done. I mean, you're talking about a guy. They signed him for season 12. I'm looking at it right now. ECL 11, 38 points in 30 games for Vesapampa. That's good. But then his first year with hREDS, 80 points in 30 games with 30 goals. And now 53 points in 23 games so far with 37 goals.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting back up to that 80 mark, but I mean, he's just continues to kind of, you know, show why he's such a good force on this roster. And I mean, hREDS are just a scary team right now. There's really no other way to say it. And yeah, like you said earlier, yeah, maybe some rough animations here or there for McSaven. But then again, he's having to face how much time on attack, how many shots are getting in again immediately. Villapoika gets a whack at it again right on the doorstep. He's just continuing to find himself in position to get these shots, to get these chances, and get those goals.
We'll have an icing call here. I mean, Sin, based off of those stats to an intermission, what did you see and kind of how are things looking heading into this third period?
Hard to judge a little bit with the way it kind of played out with it only being kind of half the period. But again, it was hREDS with the distinct advantage in the time on attack. Got to be careful right there. Sebby Larson still turns it over.
He Dangles tries that short side shot. Benito stripped to the puck by Mr. Nipsley. His pass off the mark, but it will find his way to Afe. Kind of hanging around the neutral zone. 17 minutes to go here in regulation. The 3-0 lead now in favor of our defending champions in hREDS, looking to reclaim that top spot in the standings. They'll still have games at hand on Sawo Esports, I do believe, after this one. The 24th game for hREDS. Sawo on 26. Between the legs, almost went for Fopa Toflin, and that shot taken away by Domi in front. So that may have hit the bar and flipped over the top off of how that went. Trouble for McSaven. And he gets out of it. King of Apes again. Taking care of business on that right-hand side. Oh, man, Benito, the pass over just doesn't go. Great give-and-go work between him and Villapoika.
Yeah, nice work by Sebby Larson of playing the angle right, playing the pass in the right location. Didn't get the clean intercept, but off his skate is McSaven.
What a stop! Keeping his team alive. And a great stop. We will get a look at a save by FaZe down the other way here, perhaps, or not. Let's just get FaZe a little bit of love here. We haven't been able to see too much of him. So the face off. One by Mullen. Here's Fopa Toflin. Again, nearly pulled off that highlight reel save. Or a highlight reel goal. It was a highlight reel save for FaZe on the other side. As McSaven again. Played that one off the pad. Nipsley for Mullen. Now Fopa Toflin again. Nipsley shot. Bouncing around in front there. Domi again. Elite level defense. Nicky Dangles is tripped. And a huge hit there as well. It will only be a 2-minute minor penalty for the trip. Sebby Larson, honestly, Sin, not the worst idea.
No, it definitely wasn't. That was, you know, definitely not who you want with a step on you right there. I think that was Villapoika who he ended up tripping up. It was a nice little 3-man rush there from hREDS, and now they're going to get another power play because of it.
There we go. The power play back to work. That shot. Not finding its intended target. Domi pinching in. Loose puck in front. Mullen can't clear. Benito gets it back. To work his way into the middle. Still, it's hREDS in possession. Another penalty coming up. Villapoika fired one wide glove side as Mullen touches it up. 56 seconds worth of 5-on-3 interference called against Mr. Nipsley.
Yeah, and at this stage, it's Färjestad kind of falling apart here as they have to keep pushing. They have to keep, getting turnovers, trying to get offense because they're in just too deep of a hole against its hREDS team. And that's what good teams do. They put you in those kind of no-win situations, and then they just bleed you dry.
A chance here. Nicky Dangles trying to wait out the pressure. Färjestad able to get that clear. One more rush here while they still have the man advantage. Knocked away. FBK at this point, I mean, the win, unlikely. Still playing for very important goal differential. As again, week number 4, we head to the final week of the regular season. Upcoming week ahead, playoffs sooner rather than later. So much closer than you'd expect for this sprint of a season as Nicky Dangle's pass in front picked off. Puck kept in by Domi. King of Apes has that one knocked loose. Domi still there. The evolution to his game has been something else to witness over the past couple of seasons. King of Apes, Filipoika, Benito denied on the doorstep by McSavid. Under 5.5 minutes to play in this one. And all hREDS since the restart. FaZe makes the stop. No need to risk playing it out.
Yeah, with the way Domi's been playing lately, you'd think he has every single possible intercept perk on, but it's just comes down to his perfect positioning nearly at every stage of the game. It's just absolutely flawless.
And the chance there goes to the wayside. Potofin in front, Mullen, Afe there. FaZe makes the stop and Sin. That is the problem with hREDS. As we've talked about so many times, so difficult to work their way past their defensive structure, and then you have the issue of trying to put a puck past FaZe.
Yeah, it's an incredibly tall task here as they're looking, they're trying to get one more chance. Afe again on the doorstep with that in-tight one-timer, can't get the shot away.
Finally just kind of going all out pressure-wise. It's maybe something we would have wanted to see a little bit sooner. Sebi Larson, though, stripped of the puck. Here comes Filipoika, and he runs out of space. McSavid stares him down and wins that battle. We've had essentially clean breakaways for Afe and Filipoika. Off the bar for Mullen. Final minute of play here in the third. Sim, between these two games, two of the best goal scorers in this division. Clean breakaways haven't come up with the goals, as surprising as that is. We'll have an icing call here with 50 seconds to play.
Yeah, and that's been, at least by my count, 3 different posts that Färjestad have hit in this series. Couple from Afe, including one on that penalty shot, and then that one from Mullen right there. That's a tough break once again, but that's what can happen when you're not getting enough shots, or enough chances, enough quality chances. The ones that kind of go by the wayside are magnified that much more. So we see the slash there, and no fight breaking out this time, although I think by this point we would command them to fight it out and not have to reset all the way to the third period.
If they dared, I would say, okay, cool, you can just go without commentary. All right, off the tie up here. It is Fopatofin with the puck turned over. Domi gets absolutely floored by Mullen. Filipoika gets floored by Mr. Nipsel. He dangles to King of Apes in front. He gets the goal. 4-0 hREDS.
Wow. Just, they stay hungry at all times, this hREDS team. They do not let up. They continue to forecheck till that final buzzer right there. And that was King of Apes down low, capitalizing off the good work from the forwards in deep to retrieve that puck, kick it back out front, and he puts that one home on McSavid. 4-0. Still 30 seconds left. And you can see they're not done trying to sneak Nicky Dangles in there. They want more goals.
28 seconds to go. A rough day at the office for FBK. Again, walking away with just 1 point out of 4, but as mentioned, they don't have the toughest schedule down the stretch, so they should be able to still secure that playoff spot. Filipoika stopped. Second chance, McSavid with the cover. Plays it right back out to him. Nicky Dangles scores! I understand FBK, Sin, wanting to get this game over with. That is ill-advised, though.
Yeah,
you never know when those goals can haunt you. Take the extra 10 seconds out of your life, you know?
Yeah, that was kind of a rough one right there. That was a couple great saves. I think can't really be understated how great those saves were. But unfortunately, all we're going to remember now is that last goal from Nicky Dangles off when he played that out. It was once again stripped away because hREDS, we talk about it all the time. The great teams especially never, ever, ever stop playing. They never, ever take their foot off the gas. We saw it from, for Lunda all the time. We would see it from Havu, and we see it now from hREDS.
Final 3 seconds, a 5-0 victory in favor of our defending champions. FaZe, his 7th shutout of the season. He was already second in the league in that number. He and Nikke of Sawo really going toe-to-toe this season. for that top stat. Although, Sin, I will point out, I don't know how many shutouts you're aware of Nikkei having. It's 11.
Wow. What is the cap? What is the Cape record? Was it 12 or 14? I always mix it up.
I'm gonna I can look that up really quickly here. But my goodness, it was 12 from ECL 11.
Oh my goodness. It's
so,
highly possible. And that's actually absurd that it's highly possible to get that shutout record
he's one
broken.
away from tying it.
Oh, wow. And how many? Yeah, they probably have at least a few games left. We'll have to
4 games left for Savo, so.
That's going to be tough, but it is Savo. They've defended incredibly well all season long. But in this matchup, hREDS doing what they've done all season long, and that's to get as many points as possible. As that was the highlight of them, obviously, during the reset. Getting that first goal on the board to make it easy for us so that every few minutes we didn't have to explain what the actual score was after the reset there. But what a complete performance by hREDS. Färjestad, good fight. They get 1 point. Obviously, they'd have loved to get that second one, man. It just really feels like it got away after that penalty shot, and then hREDS scoring just a mere 30 seconds after Afe doesn't score on the penalty shot. That one really hurts at the end of the day, but as you mentioned, Färjestad pretty firmly in that playoff position, and not the hardest of schedules coming up, but they're going to have to come out with a vengeance to get as many points as they can, because we talked about it, just how tough that top 3, even top 4 seeding is right now, and how difficult it'll be to beat those teams.
So with that, again, a big couple of victories for hREDS as they continue to surge their way back towards the top of the standings. I don't think we're going to get a look at the goal replays here, so I think we'll go ahead and move on with our, our coverage and look to wrap up today's broadcast. It's gone a little bit over time. Again, we will throw out sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need here. Again, week 4 is now officially in the books. We're heading to the home stretch here, and it starts this upcoming Monday. Crazy as that is, 1945 CET, 1:45 p.m. Eastern. Again, it is arguably, and in my humble opinion, the greatest rivalry we have seen in a competitive sixes setting. It will be Frölunda taking on Havu this Monday. On top of that as well, we'll be going with the coverage, and of course it is HV71 and Granite as well, 2 teams that have a lot to play for at this stage. And Sin, we'll be following along all week long as we wait to see who will make the playoffs, who will finish in those relegation spots, who will be automatically demoted to our pro division. So much to play for heading into the final week. But again, we will look to wrap things up here. We thank you very much for sticking with us, especially through that last game after the reset. Of course, again, one more time, sportsgamer.gg. You can catch Sin on the YouTube side of things at Sin for the Win Productions. I am everywhere at Tookie24. A big thank you to our sponsors at Wilhelm, Koval Lakritzi, and ST Hockey, and everyone behind the scenes that helps make this broadcast what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. And boy, if you're some of the goalies in this division, don't buy any lottery tickets this weekend.